It's Friday, August the 25th, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, a top criminal lawyer in Barbados is objecting to Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite's announced plan that government will draft the Barbados Defense Force into helping police combat the worrying spike in gun violence. Queen's Counsel Andrew Pilgrim believes the announced plan is a knee-jerk reaction to society's fear of gun crimes, which are responsible for 19 of this year's 23 murders. Speaking at the BDF's 38th anniversary parade at St. Anne's Fort last weekend, Brathwaite said that government would bring soldiers into the fight against the growing incidence of gun crimes. However, with the murder tally for the year so far exceeding the 22 for all of 2016, Pilgrim said that short of martial law, he could not see how bolstering the armed forces' involvement in crime fighting would fix the root cause of a social problem.
If we arrest more people, for example, if we punish more people, if we react by violent, aggressive ways, is that going to cure it, or is that going to send it underground for a little while and let it come back stronger? And everybody know what my views are. I sing in the same song now for years. I really want to find out what our young men can do that is positive and get them going in those directions. And obviously, I have a slant towards cultural things, but obviously there's skills things too. Every young man that leaves school in Barbados without certification should have an obligation to register at skills training. If he's not doing that, he got to show that he is involved in some sort of cultural or sporting activity as a matter of law.
Pilgrim also said that one of the main problems which seem to be driving young men into a life of crime is a lack of educational achievement and involvement in positive social activities.
The common thread between most of the people that come before the courts, is that they have no certification and that they have no involvement in any social activity. So you're going to seldom find it happens, but you can seldom find a fella saying, oh yeah, I am involved in drumming at Haynesville, but I also involved in shooting. I am involved in the Black Spurs football team. I'm involved in things that involve other people working in a social, positive environment. We got to get as many of our young people educated, one, given skills, two, and three, involved in social activities other than the block.
In other news now, as the debate continues over the virtues of single-sex over co-ed schools, one secondary school principal has come up with what he believes could be a solution: have single-sex classes within a co-ed school. Dr. David Brown of Queen's College says it will not be feasible to return to the single-sex classes of the old days.
I would like to see some of the other secondary schools take it up, right? I don't believe that at the end of the day, when the report is published by Queen's College, that anybody can say, let us go back to single-gender classes. There won't be enough data. But it'd be useful to see a number of the other secondary schools do it. It's not difficult to do. It's just a matter of setting the classes as single-gender and mixed classes, and then observing the data. They'll be taught by the same teachers. They will have the same tests, and then you'll be able to observe the performance of classes with single-sex as opposed to co-ed.
Dr. Brown has implemented such an initiative at Queen's College, and it has been reaping success, with at least 14 of the school's 26 scholarship and exhibition winners being drawn from one such beta class.
Now, what I observe is that a lot of the scholarship and exhibition winners come from the beta class, right? And that I won't want to put much to that. Right? They are the people who observe it. But that all-girls class that entered in 2010 and have been observed to be very focused. They're very focused students. They know what they want, and they've worked very, very hard. So the experiment has come to an end after 5 years. But there's still single-gender classes in school that are running for another 3 to 4 years before we finally collect all the data and analyze it.
Savor the culture. This suggestion to Barbadians and visitors who are thinking of taking part in Carifesta 13 is coming from Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Senator Irene Sandiford Garner, who says the Caribbean Festival of Arts provides the ideal environment to expand one's mind and entertain. She made the comments as she visited the Grand Market at the Lloyd Erskine Sandyford Centre.
It is a unique undertaking for a country and a mammoth undertaking, but it's also a unique experience to have so many Caribbean people together in one place. You don't have to get on an airplane to savor the culture of Guadeloupe, Martinique, St. Lucia, Guyana. They're all in the same place at the same time. And then to also view the artists, view Jamaican dancers, Cuban dancers, Haitian dancers and performers, St. Lucian children with their At One generation. There's just so much to see and do that I would, urge all Barbadians to come out and experience it. It is like none other.
Carry Festa ends on Sunday. In sports, West Indies are playing England this morning in their second test in England. The wounded regional side will be hoping to pick up themselves and try to chalk up a win following the embarrassing loss in the first test by an innings and 209 runs.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Welcome to Carafesta 13. As an Amera affiliate, we at Grand Bahama Power Company strive to live and work injury-free every day, and we encourage you to do the same. Here's a safety tip for you. Social media can wait. No text, tweet, or phone call is worth you or anyone else's life. So before you start your car, send any messages that you need to send and make your glove compartment your phone compartment. From everyone here at Grand Bahama Power Company, have a safe, enjoyable, and incident-free Carafesta. Stay safe, everyone.
Carafesta 13, Barbados.
Welcome back with news from the region now. Jamaica's national security could be under threat even as a probe is launched into a grave situation at the country's firearms licensing authority. These comments by the authority's Chief Executive Officer Shane Darling come as the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, MOCA, intensifies its probe into the granting of some firearm licenses by the FLA.
Mr. Darling confirmed that several files at the FLA are now in MOCA's possession. He also confirmed that a major shake-up is coming at the entity.
I cannot discuss everything with the public, and I cannot say everything that is happening. Sufficient to say they are very grave. And as the head of the entity, I will need to carry out a shake-up of the entity to effect some changes and to hold persons accountable and to also guarantee the public that what occurred in the past will not take place in the future. And sometimes it requires fresh minds, new ideas, and new people to implement some of these things that I'm about to put in place.
3 employees have been separated from the FLA since Tuesday. They include the Senior Director in charge of Audit and Complaints and Senior Audit and Complaints Officer, as well as a police officer who was on secondment to the entity.
And on the international scene, a white supremacist convicted of racially motivated murders 3 decades ago in Florida has been executed by a new cocktail lethal injection. Mark Assay is the first white man in state history to be executed for killing a black victim, and that's according to the Death Penalty Information Center. The 53-year-old had been found guilty of 2 1987 murders in Jacksonville. The execution took place yesterday afternoon.
So recently there have been concerns that executions by lethal injection, which are supposed to be quick and painless, aren't either. Typically, executions are done with 3 drugs given in stages. So the first drug is an anesthetic, and it's supposed to anesthetize the inmate. The second drug is called a paralytic, and it's supposed to keep the inmate from flailing around. And then the third drug is supposed to stop the heart. Executioners used to use a drug called sodium thiopental as that first drug, as the anesthetic, but then the only company that made it in the United States stopped making it. So they went to Europe and said, can we get it from you? But European drug companies said, no, we are not going to sell it to you if it's going to be used for the purpose of executing inmates. So since they haven't been able to use the sodium thiopental for the executions, they've gone to another anesthetic. This one is called midazolam. And in 3 executions, there might have been some problems with it. Instead of going quickly and painlessly, witnesses who watched the execution said that inmates were gasping or snorting or making choking sounds, and at least in one execution that the inmate was actually speaking. So among states that do the death penalty, there's been some consideration, does this three-step method really work? So now using this new drug combination has raised some questions about whether it constitutes cruel and unusual punishment and whether it might be unconstitutional.
And that's news and the sports, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.